Here we go. Welcome, drumheads, to another episode of the Rude and Mental Drumcast.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Tom Edge. Now, I'll tell you what, the first thing we've got to address the elephant in the room this episode is, Jason, your eyes looking a bit kind of strange.
What are you talking
In
about?
fact, it doesn't look strange. It looks as if somebody's giving you a good crack in the face for talking when you should be listening.
Yeah.
Explain.
Look, I imagine if we were in the same country, it would have been you doing it. But
is it second prize or not? What's the story?
I was riding my bike, and as I've told you in the notes before this, the helmet had nothing to do with it, right? A tree physically came and attacked me straight into my eye as I was riding in the night. I came off my bike, blood everywhere. I thought it was over. Honestly, I thought the podcast was over. I wasn't going to be able to see.
Did you think your life was over? Because
it was over.
Did you think, was this as close as it was going to get? Do you think you were going to have to get kind of...
We were going to get 4 episodes into the Drumcast, and that's it.
24 hours of hell.
It was. I went and sat in a hospital waiting room and just realised that, you know what? There's people in here got it worse than me. I'm getting out of here. But I'm getting better.
Well, well, it looks a wee bit better. But,
and this is what Christmas is all about, you know?
Good on you. At least you're soldiering on.
Yeah. Well, Christmas time is... We're out here with the lame and the wounded and the lonely, you know?
Yeah,
Christmas time is about that as well.
It's Christmas, isn't it? If you're out at Christmas time and all that. Yeah, listen, there is people at Christmas. I was very ill. I was very, very ill. So listen, let me give you the stages of my illness, right?
Go on.
So Thursday night I was out with the guys for a couple of drinks. Friday, boom. I thought, I'm feeling about maybe a hangover here. Then I realised that this is not a hangover. This is full on, wait for it, full on flu. So my wife's like, it's not a flu, it's a cold you've got. She's not, it's flu. And you can hear it in my voice, right? But I was like feverish and all that. And then I started to think, maybe it's meningitis. Maybe it's malaria, because I've lived and worked in Africa, and I thought it could be dormant malaria, right? See, this is the way my mind works, right? So it starts off, it could be a cold. The next thing you know, it's either cancer or AIDS.
The worst thing, I mean, just it can't just be like... Work backwards.
It's straight to... And if I survive 24 hours and I know it's not cancer, AIDS, malaria, meningitis, shingles, schistosomiasis...
COVID? No, you're not even worried about COVID, eh?
Dengue fever, COVID. Right, eventually it's the cold. I just had the cold.
It sounds pretty cool, man. So, it's actually a cool, like, sort of, thing you got going on with your voice at the moment.
I know. I feel like Bonnie Tyler. Total eclipse of my voice.
You look like it too, yeah.
Oh no, big top Will Snow. Buried that. Right, so
what do you got for us?
So I have to tune in. This is our Christmas. This is our Christmas special. As you can see, I've festooned it with Christmas lights. I've got a wee metal tree. And beneath that, I've got a wee present for Jason Gunning.
Yes.
Guy sent me a present. I got it through post.
I've been waiting for this all week.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, listen. We'll do that at the end of the show, but I can't wait to talk my present. So what's coming up in the show today, Jason? We've got, that was the month it was.
That was the month, was it?
We've got, me on the beat, is a Christmas cracker or a Merry Benny Christmas. And then we'll talk about a couple of things for that. So without much ado, let's talk about the month it was. And that is your month, Jason Gunning. Tell me about being promoted to drum sergeant and the fantastic Manly pipes and drums.
Ladies and gentlemen, drumheads, supporters of mine, it's happened. I've become the drum sergeant. Look, I mean...
We all knew it was going to happen.
It was divine intervention, wasn't it? No, I mean, I didn't really... I guess, like, I sort of worked hard for it, eh? You know, I went there and I learned all the tunes. I tried to get the band together and get everyone to play nice music together. And I think from that, they've been like, hey, maybe it was what we need as a drum sergeant. So I guess that's kind of cool. Yep. But also, I have no idea what that entails. So, Andrew, what do you think a good drum sergeant is?
Well, I'll tell you what I think a good drum sergeant is, or a good lead tip, without being too kind of military sounding about it. It's just, I think you need to like kind of a wee bit of leadership about you and make sure that you don't leave anyone behind. So you're only as good as your worst drummer, right? So you need, and that sounds kind of harsh, your worst drummer. But what I mean is so your weakest player, right? You need to actually focus on him.
Yes. I guess next year it'll be, I'll have to do some one-on-ones. I mean, this will sort of involve me teaching them as well, wouldn't it? Teaching people what I know.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
100%.
That's big boots.
So, I think the main thing is don't sweat it too much, and then I think let your wrists do the talking.
Yes.
So if you fixate on trying to be apolitical, non-partisan, and provide everybody with like a kind of steady pair of literally hands, I think that'll work for you. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to lead, I reckon.
And give everybody an incentive. Give them the incentive. Do you know what I mean? Listen, guys, this is what we're aiming for. Kind of show and tell. This is kind of where we want to be. And the last thing is you're all capable of doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
So don't make it that it's out with their capability. It's got to be within their capability.
Yeah.
And
that's playing together as a team, eh?
It'll be
like
fun.
what Ali Park was saying.
100%.
It's all about the team. I mean, from this, I kind of, the night that they revealed it, I just had the realization. I was like, fire, I got to be sharp now. I got to be really, I got to know my shit now.
Well,
I can't drop. I can't get lazy. None of that.
I think for where these are, what grade do you use? 4B?
That's the one. The lowest.
Right, listen, so...
Isn't it?
No, but listen,
you can go, right?
Well, that's a good thing. No, wait a minute. Listen, but wait a minute. Let's not be negative about it. Let's be positive about it, right? So for the point of view, if it's 4B, the good thing is it gives you something A. You can't go any lower, right?
Nice. Very good.
Right? B, you're like that, right? Listen, this is a great starting block. This is a starting point here. It's 4B. So our mission intent is to get from 4B to 4A. If we achieve that, then we've achieved our aim.
That surely, you know what? For me, it feels like that's the goal. I reckon if I can try and achieve that with this group, that would be unreal. But is that a bit of an uphill battle? Is that what it takes?
No.
Am I just,
No, and listen, and this is the other thing, you've got to be honest with yourself, right? So say, for instance, you've got to turn around and say, I don't know how many drummers you've got in your side drum corps, but as a drum corps, you've got to say, right, at my point of starting as a lead tip, right, to the following year, have I improved the standard of the corps? Right? Now, you might not get to 4A, but you may have taken a leap, as long as you've taken a leap forward with the corps, then you're on the right trajectory. So for that end, I'd say at 4B, you need to be making sure that your drummers are fixating on the rudiments that you're giving them. So for instance, practices with your guys, I would actually insert kind of rudiment practices, where you sit and do rudiment practices, and then I don't know what he's got to do. He's got to play a march. Is it a 2/4 march or something? He's got to do?
Yeah.
For your competitions.
So, just get yourself we don't even compete. So this is why it's kind of what does it really take to get out of 4B? You got to compete. You got to get everyone down with the rudiments. Have you got to get unison parts smooth as butter?
Listen. So the first thing is you're going to have to say, right, listen, let's pick a really nice 2/4 tune or a 4/4 tune, right? Let's pick something that's going to be quite expressive for the drummers. And then with that, write something that you think is going to be challenging enough for the drummers that they can do it, but decent enough that it's going to give you a tight sound. Do you know what I mean? Think about that.
There's nothing cooler as a drummer when you rock up to, your competitions or whatever. And not that I've been to many, I've only been to one so far, and you see the drum corps, especially the snares, getting together and just knocking out a tune. And they're playing through different parts, but there's no melody. They all know it. lead tip's doing his thing, then the unison comes in. It's a thing of beauty.
But of course it is. So listen, I don't think you need luck. I just think you need work. Right? So I think the work is, I'll give you the results that you want, mate. So I'm looking forward to you actually going to have to show this on the podcast. Start point, middle point, and end point.
Wow.
That sounds feasible.
It's
we could maybe have a Sergeant Gunning's progress. That sounds like a good. that sounds like a good part of the show.
Yeah, or failures, eh?
Progress. Or failures. Yeah. Sergeant Gunning's progress or failures.
And
I like that.
We do both. We're not hiding anything here.
Not at all.
Let's see if we can break it out.
What I was going to say is, sweating in here. Right, so what have we got next? We've got my movement last week was across the Belfast.
Yeah, you've been jet setting, traveling
again. Only for the show. Only for the show.
Literally can't keep you down.
Listen, as you know, as we've spoken about before, I went to see about this Lambheg drum. So I've done a wee intro and I've done a wee kind of show when I was over there. Done a wee kind of thing for the podcast. So without much ado, let's do Andy on the beat with my wee intro. Okay, drumheads, welcome to Belfast on a bright and sunny day. So today we're going to be tackling the Lambheg drum, and I'm going to be going seeing a man called Bobby McGreechan. Now, as everybody knows, Belfast had its trauma in the past few years, and that's mainly because it's a divided city between Catholic and Protestant. Protestants predominantly being Unionists and Catholics predominantly being Nationalists. However, the drum itself isn't either Protestant or Catholic. It is, in fact, a drum. So the person that's helped me out the most has been a guy called Bobby McGreechan. He's decided to show me the drum and give me a shot of the drum. So I'd like to highlight the drum. I'm not here to highlight anyone's politics or anyone's religion. It just so happens that Bobby's part of the Unionist community and he's the guy that I got in touch with to show me the drum. So hopefully we can get seeing that in the next clip. Okay, so enjoy. Okay, this afternoon we're here in Ballyrobert, Orange Hall, in particular to speak to Mr. Bobby McGreechan. Hope I spelt that, pronounced that right. Bobby's been obviously a Lambheg drummer for many, many years, and he's informed me that he's a fourth generation Lambheg drummer. So I've got a couple of questions for Bobby. We had a good lunch, and we've obviously had a wee chat at his house. But there's a gazillion questions I want to ask you. Some of them I'll be asking you, and you've already told me before. Yeah. But obviously for the people that are watching this, I want them to kind of get some sort of understanding. So the Lambheg drum, Bobby, when did you first start playing it?
Well, I first started playing it about 30 years ago. Not seriously. My family had a long tradition of Lambheg drums, but unfortunately I took on to dance band drumming, and I come back onto Lambheg drumming again. And I was one night in Bangor, I was playing at an outdoor concert, and a chap asked me to go down to a Lambheg drumming match and with him that night afterwards. So I went down with him, and from then on I was hooked.
So like pipe band drumming and like pipe bands, when you're saying a Lambheg match, that's the same as a competition, aye?
Yes, it is. It's virtually the same as a competition, yeah.
How do the judges, what kind of things would a judge be looking for from a Lambheg drummer?
Content of drumming and the drum itself, how it sounds, and the quality of drumming, quality actually playing.
So, like the rudimental technique that they're doing, the clarity of that?
Yes, well, they're like every other type of drumming, there's definitely rudiments to be learned. And then everybody sometimes puts their own tilt to the drum to make it a wee bit different. But basically, they're all playing the same thing because they're judged that way.
Okay. So back to the thing about the Lambheg. Now, I understand you're saying there's like a lead drummer and a group of Lambheg drummers. Is that right? Do you have like the same sort of idea as what you've got with a pipe band drum corps, or is it different? So do you have like a lead drummer?
Yes. Well, when drums are playing together, you have a lead drummer, and you would listen to what they were playing, and but basically, you're all playing the same thing.
Okay, so we spoke about this as well earlier on, but obviously, that as everybody knows, there's a very strong divide in the communities in Northern Ireland. One side's more Protestant, Protestants, and obviously the Catholic community. And prolifically, the Lambheg drum is more prominently played by the Protestant community or the Unionist community. But it's true that they also play it within the Hibernian order, which is part of the Catholic community. The question is there any kind of difference in what they would be playing as opposed to what you would be playing?
No, they play mostly the same tunes, and some of their tunes are adopted by the Protestant community, and they play vice versa. It depends. It's just a man playing a Lambheg drum, and he's playing a Lambheg tune. It's not a Protestant tune, or it's not a Roman Catholic tune.
All right, okay. The other thing I was going to say is how prolific is the Lambheg drum in this area, as opposed to is it depending on where you come from in Northern Ireland? Is it solely in Northern Ireland? Is it anywhere else? Is it in, for instance, the Republic, or is it just this area?
The main areas in Northern Ireland would be Portadown, Ballymena, and there's Lisburn. They would be the most prominent areas, the three most prominent.
Do you see that the future for Lambheg drumming is? Would you say it's a positive future, or do you think it's in demise, or do you think there's less people playing it?
It's definitely not in demise, because when I was a child or a young boy, which was a long time ago, the men, the adults who were playing the drums, hardly let you touch the drum, and now they're welcome with open arms. Young people are welcome with open arms, and the talent in Northern Ireland is absolutely terrific.
Going back a wee bit about the history of the drum itself, as we spoke about kind of earlier, it was mentioned in Wikipedia on the internet that it came over in the early 17th century or 1700s with Schomburg and his soldiers. Yes. But you explained to me exactly what happened to the drum that makes it different.
Well, yes. Well, the drums, it was a long drum that Schomburg and those people played, and it sort of was turned on its side then. The Orange people, or the people who played Lambhegs, turned the drum on its side, and it took a different shape. It was more rounded, and it was broad, wide.
And you alluded that the first drum was in Moira. Is that right?
Yes, allegedly it was made in Moira. Yeah.
Okay, so how long do you think that you would say that you could get from the Lambheg drum, i.e. when you get one made? Now, I know you get them made from certain people that make specifically Lambheg drums, but once you've got one fashioned and made, how long do you think that Lambheg drum would be playable, would work for you?
If it was well looked after, it would do you a lifetime, as I say, as the saying goes. But it depends how much tension and everything else you're putting on the drum. But if you're going to matches, drumming matches, the drums are really put to, the test. So, but if they're properly looked after, they should last years, many years.
Right, okay, we're going to just hold it there, but I'm looking forward to actually getting to see you play. Yeah. Maybe getting a wee shot myself. Yeah. So we're going to try that. We're going to pause this and we'll see if it'll work with this mic. I don't know, but we'll definitely do that. Thanks, Bobby the New.
Lovely stuff, Andy. You've done it again. And man,
listen, right? So,
you got a cracking sound out of that drum. Was that just you, or is that what the drum sounds like for real?
No, listen. What I never got a shot of is Bobby had made a thing called a drum press, and so I failed in this bit. But basically, if you can imagine two massive metal wheels, right, that hold the drum in place, and he can then turn another wheel which compresses the two large wheels, which assist in tightening the drum.
What?
And then you pull the rope tensions, and that helps tighten it. So you get to tighten the drum. So that's something I failed to show you, but that's basically how they tighten the drum.
Is that to get its sound, or is that something like to change it while you're playing it live, to change the tones?
No, you can't do it while you're playing live. You're on. That's what you do. Do you know what I mean? And you can get different size drums. They're about 3 foot, the ones, and that's about the average size, 3 foot. But I mean, the thing is with the intro and all that, I know people think, what's the big deal? For some people, it is a big deal about what side's playing the drum. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been on the what's the show, Lord of the Dance? They've been on that. What's it called? What's the Irish show?
It's a Riverdance.
And they had a part in that. Yeah.
No way. So, how long did he say that drum's been around? I know he was saying it was played through his family for generations.
Yeah. Like he did drum for he's been drumming for full generations, so he's a fourth generation Lambheg drummer. But the drum's been around, according to Wikipedia, this is right. So I've done my homework as usual. That drum in particular has been around since like the early 1700s, and it was brought across to Northern Ireland. This is the bit that he says, which I can't validate, but I'm taking his word for it. So one of the generals that came across to Ireland was a general called Schoenberg, and he brought across those, not that specific drum, but long drums that they played. And what they said is they turned them on their side, and then they played them like a bass drum as opposed to like what you would look like a long side drum. How factual that is, I don't know. He was saying that the first Lambheg drum that was recorded was in a place called Moira in Northern Ireland. So I don't know. I would like to maybe pursue a bit more kind of in depth the history of it, but like I say, it's a cracking sound. I mean, listen, one guy I know I told I was going to play that drum. He says, "Oh, that's just white noise." I disagree. I disagree. I think
you can see why.
I think many of them getting played erratically would be white noise.
Yeah,
but I think if you could actually achieve some sort of hemi-sync rhythm, kind of thing, I think it will work. Maybe we should be in pipe bands. Maybe we should ditch tenor drummers and have like different size Lambhegs. Like the mini Lambheg, then the mini maxi Lambheg, and then the, you know what I mean?
That definitely spice it up.
Maxi Lambheg.
You could do Lambheg sets, yeah? So the second one is where everybody gets their shirt off and they start playing the Lambheg.
I don't know.
It's a sound
I don't know where I'm going with it.
That's a sound if you heard it from a distance, you'd be like, "Oi, what's coming?" isn't it?
It's part of that thing. The other one is the Bowrun. I was watching a programme about the Bowrun and I want to go and do that properly and see somebody play it properly, because a lot of people say they can play it and they can't, right?
And I've tried playing it and it's not easy.
No, I'll be honest. I think every drummer's got a wee Bowrun somewhere. I've got one.
Yeah.
And I can knock out like what I think's a real tempo, which is a triplet accent type thing.
Yeah.
And to an untrained player, it sounds as if I can play it. But if somebody could actually play the Bowrun, would come punch me in the face and take it off me
and laugh
say,
at you.
Don't ever touch that again, man. Just don't touch that. You
That's
make a fool of yourself.
I've preempted that, and I'm just not even going to touch it. Yeah, I'm just going to do the instrument itself.
Maybe the next time maybe the next time I go across, I think I'll try and paint something. But this is the thing. There's a pub in Belfast called the Glass Onion, and they do Bowrun lessons on a Thursday night.
Hey.
So the next time I go to Belfast, it'll be a Thursday, Glass Onion, and hopefully a Bowrun lesson.
Beauty.
That's possibly on the cards.
Great stuff.
Right?
All these drums.
So we're happy with that. Let's move on.
All right.
What have we got next? We've got Christmas crackers or a Merry Benny Christmas.
Merry Benny Christmas, everyone.
How do we deal with this? Right, how do we deal with this? Right, so we need to explain Benny first. Do you think? I think we tried it before on the show to explain Benny.
But it's going to be an ongoing trope in this show, I reckon. So let's give the listeners another explanation, your explanation, because I still don't really fully know what it is.
Okay, right. Right, so I think the best way to describe a Benny, right, is someone normally, they tend not to be very musically agile, right? They tend to be people that are lesser musically gifted for a start. Secondly, they love collecting badges and balloons, right? So they're the kind of people that love sharing band T-shirts, band baseball hats, band scarves.
Are you talking about me directly?
Any sort of kind of, I don't know, logoed wear or logoed stuff. Yeah, exactly. Like that's fine. That's your band.
That's my band, right?
That's your band. That's fine. The weird thing is inside everybody there is a Benny trying to get out. Right? It's at what point? Right? At what point do you draw the line? Some people are just unashamedly Bennies. And they just can't help themselves, and they'll do anything, and you just think, oh, that's just too much. Right?
This is kind of like the person that's in the right place at the right time. Getting the merch.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody it's like so say if somebody gives you something and you go, that's great, thanks very much. But then there's people that actually go out and hunt for the stuff, you know? Which is different.
Yeah.
So like they actually go in they actually go in the hunt for it. And I think, no, that's wrong. So that's like Benny. But yet if somebody gave you something that you knew, you're like, oh no, my mate Jim gave me that. And he's playing me that band. It's cool.
Yeah. Right.
But it's the kind of, how can I best, it's a floating thing. You know, what's good today's wrong tomorrow.
Yeah.
And who gets to decide? People like me.
It's the first I ever heard of it, but you know what? You've seen it. You've seen it happen, especially around the tattoo. It's a great place.
Exactly.
It's a great place to get a Benny.
Central right there. Yeah, that's Benny Central right there.
I've been a dirty
And there's
Benny.
people for day one, they're like, yeah, there's people like that. It's day one tattoo, they're like out hunting for your stuff. And you're like, no, I can't do that.
But it's good stuff.
And I think another weird thing about it is it's a bit like, do you know what it's like? Like, if you played for a football team or a rugby team, right? And you played in a grade or a group or a premiership, right? And you ran about and you're a football player and you run about trying other teams' merch, right?
Trying to get other teams
It would
merch,
be
yeah.
wrong. But at the end of the football match, if somebody gave you their shirt, that would be fine.
All right. Okay. Wow.
Does that make sense?
I get a completely different feeling for the first one now, you know?
Does that make sense, though?
Yeah. You get that shirt swap. It's like organic. It's there. It's like, wow, nice. Came by chance. Like,
yeah. Yeah, but the other way of looking at it would be like, you know, if you're like a defender from, I don't know, Arsenal, and you're going about the dressing rooms of other Premiership teams, lifting socks or you're like, mate, have some decorum. Have some decorum.
All right, so
you'll get it at the next game.
How does this tie into Christmas? We're all Bennies at Christmas, aren't we?
Well, if anybody's been looking at the internet, right, there's been some real wild stuff on there, right? Some real wild stuff.
That's why they call it the silly season.
This is what we both know, right? So, you know, the gratuitous Christmas hat, the Santa hat. It's Christmas time. We're a pipe band. We're playing at nearly Christmas time. Let's all wear Santa hats. Right, that's no part of. It's just no part of. I'm not buying into it.
It's no part of.
Right? No, I'm not a Grinch, right? I'm not a Grinch. I just don't think that if that's your default setting in your mind, you think, I'm a pipe band, it's near Christmas time, put on a Santa hat. Hey, that's me, instant Christmas guy. No. That's not how it works in my world. You're not instant Christmas guy.
You got to be Christmas every day of the year.
You're just not instant Christmas guy. You're instant fool. Just a bunch of fools, Kim. Just a bunch of fools.
So is there a time that it's like, I know we've gone through this before, but like you get the 1st of December, it's the first weekend of December, you're out there playing on the park and you got the Christmas gear on. No? We've all had to do it, haven't we?
What?
We've all had to do it. Have you not had to play it?
I've not done it. I've not done it. I'm not going to do it, right? Well, what I was going to say is this, right? Listen. I just think it's a cheap trick. It's a cheap shot. I think, I don't know. And plus, here's the other thing, right? Why is it the red and white Santa hat, the Coca-Cola hat?
Are there other alternatives?
We've even tried to make an effort here. We just... Oh. All right, so you're like that. When would you do it? I suppose I would do it, right? I would do it. Christmas Eve or
Christmas
something
spirit,
like that.
man. You got to do it.
Yeah, I know. And I get Christmas spirit. Look, I've invested in the stars.
Look at you, actually. Very impressive.
I've done that. And I got a wee metal kind of thing that I dug out a garage somewhere. Look, the wee metal Christmas tree.
That's good effort.
So I'm not opposed to Christmas. It's just that I just think trying to make out it's patter is, well, it's no patter. You know, it's like people that go, oh, I'm really crazy. It's a bit like the guy that comes to high school and goes, hi, my name's James Watt, but you all can call me Tiger Eyes. You're like, no, you don't get to make up your own name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You can't nickname yourself.
I'm mental. Yeah. I've just called myself Tiger Eyes. No, you're called James Watt. We're going to call you Lack of Steam. In fact, you're just called Puffin Billy now. Beat it. Boohead. That's now your name. Right?
Demoted. Yeah.
So,
all right.
It's a bit like that. That's what runs through my mind.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, when you do it, sometimes you do feel a little bit dirty. But then you start getting into it, especially when you're playing. There's something about when you're playing and you're wearing a Christmas hat and
you wear a Christmas gear, you think it works.
You just
well, here's the thing, right? And there's a few high profile targets that have been guilty of this the past couple of days.
Yeah,
I'm going to start off with naming names. Right, Coffee Maxwell, right? Coffee Maxwell with the orange bonnet. Now, listen, I'm going to give him a lot of plaudits for this, right? Coffee Maxwell has always worn that orange hat, right? And I love it.
Oh, yeah.
That's his signature piece.
Yes.
Right? He's worn that bonnet for years. He's made that his own. He owns that, right?
That colour belongs to Reed Maxwell.
That's 10 out of 10 there, right? He's made that his own.
Yeah.
And then I seen him with the Christmas bonnet on to sell that book. I'm like, no.
Listen, before he did
You've
that video, I
it.
wanted the book. Still want the book. I wouldn't mind getting that in my Santa sack this year, yeah? But then he busted on the hat.
It cheapened the book, didn't it? see whatever price the book is, like $20.
And he wants a discount.
He's just cut the share price. He's just cut the share price with that advert. I'm like, no.
And the thing is, I
was going to buy it, but I'm holding off now.
You could learn some great stuff from that book, I bet. But then I think he played, was it Jingle Bells or something as a drum score?
It was, and that just kind of, it just.
That's what killed you, wasn't it?
I was like, Cough, surely you're better than that, mate. You know what I mean? Surely you're better than that. I mean, look, listen, again, like, whatever gets people through the night, do you know what I mean? It's like,
oh, yeah.
You think maybe it's good marketing. We get watched by about 5 people on the show, right? If we're lucky, 5 people in a Doug Cod spot somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But, and he's obviously ripping it, right? With like gazillions of people watching him. But me as a self-proclaimed patter expert, I'm just going, that's no patter, Coffee. That's no patter. It's just brought down your share price.
Let's beef up that patter, guys, in the park band community, especially around Christmas time. At least a tartan Santa hat.
Wait a minute. We ain't finished yet.
Oh, another name.
Oh, there you go. That would maybe work. Hey, there you go. Something new. Like, what's this?
Write it down.
We spoke about coffee. You know who the other one is?
Oh.
You know who the other guy is that's done that kind of thing?
Cover your ears, everyone. Stop the show.
Yeah?
Turn it off. Go on, who is it?
Right, listen. I seen a thing that Big Rab done, right?
Oh, yeah?
We've alluded to Big Rab in this show before, right? Listen, you want to watch a guy or listen to a guy podcast and pipe bands, hey, who am I to stop you? I'm all for it, right? The more power to your elbow, more information that's out there, the better. I've never met a guy, probably a lovely, lovely human being, right?
Oh, yeah.
Done. Bad point, right? The video where he does Silent Night, Holy Night, teasing lyrics, right? And Dear Santa, can I get 5 majors for Christmas, right? Honestly, I needed a bucket after I watched that. I physically wanted to spew, right? Again, that's no patter. But here's the worst thing, right? Here's the worst thing about this, right? And I'm going to talk about this.
Go on.
So the subject that he's talking about, the RSPBA debacle, where people are expecting 5 majors a year and they're not delivering, right? As we're going to get into that, right? So, one, I totally agree that it's a disgrace that an organisation that's paid for, a governing body that's paid for by constituents, which is the pipe bands, to supply them with 5 majors.
It's paid for by the council, right?
Right. No, the pipe bands.
Yeah. Oh,
so the pipe bands pay their membership to the RSPBA.
Yeah.
Right, and the RSPBA being the governing body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a couple of things, right? See, back in the day in the 1990s, there was this kind of American guru guy called Tom Peters, right? I don't know if anybody remember. It doesn't matter if you remember him, right? But he was the guy that came up with the concept, the virtual office, right? And at the time, people laughed at him, right? They're like, what do you mean the virtual office? Obviously, couldn't see the technology as fast and as forward as what Tom Peters could see it, right?
Mm.
So he came up with this concept called the virtual office. Basically, you won't be working in an office, you'll be working in your house because you'll have all that facility in your house, which you do.
It really happened.
As we are proven. We're having an international meeting now between Australia and Scotland, right?
Yep. It's night time, it's your breakfast.
Right, exactly. So here's my point. They've got this big block of offices in Glasgow, in Washington Street, right?
Yeah.
And I ask myself this question, right? These guys that run this organisation, right, could literally run it out my back garden. They could get a laptop, cut and paste, right?
That's true.
Cut and paste the ideas of how you're going to hold an event, right? Seriously, this is what I want to talk about. How you're going to hold an event, cut and paste it, right? Invite people. If you need to have meetings, do it on a Zoom call in your back garden, right? And no need to pay for the utility bills, no need to pay for the rent, no need to pay for all the building upkeep because you've got a big, massive building.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the people that you employ. Doing what? What do you actually do? So
emails,
I
phone
would
calls.
be in there, right? I would be in there and I would be setting about them like Ronnie Reagan with Reaganomics and strip the building clean, right? And say, what do you do here?
Yeah.
Write me down what you do Monday to Friday and tell me you can't do that in your house or in a smaller office. We don't need this building.
We need the
I don't
pipe
get it.
band. We need the Gordon Ramsay
We
of
need the
pipe
pipe
bands
bands
to go in there, tear it all down.
And just for it's actually the pipe bands. It's not about you. It's not about the RSPBA. It's about the pipe bands winning a contest. That's your job, buddy. Get on. Who are you? I'm the guy that does my job. I do a podcast slagging guys like you have. Right? So I just don't get it. No, here's the weird thing, right? Well, here's the weird thing. The RSPBA and these guys are probably the same guys that would prefer to take out an injunction on people that are bad-mouthing their organisation. They're probably kind of people say, oh, you know, I think that's slightly litigious. Let's get that guy in court or let's fight that. So you're more interested in saying something against people that are questioning or asking questions like, what do you actually do? Right? So it's more important that you actually take folk to court or threaten them with court action than actually doing your job and providing people with the 5 majors. I mean, it's no hard. How hard can that be? And here's the best one. So the comeback is after an ambiguous email that they send out just before Christmas there, saying that they're looking at ways of resolving this issue, right? And it's befalling the councils the fact that the councils don't have any money to support the events, right? So it's not me, Gov, it's them, right? You've got to ask yourself this question, right? Pipe band contests are not new, right? This kind of thing has been going about since the 1940s and before.
Surely before.
And it's been getting bigger since that period in time. And you really think to yourself, I mean, I reckon there's kids that do BMX competitions that are probably better organised than the RSPBA. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, you don't need much for it, do you?
And they don't even have a laptop. They're using their phone. They're using their iPhones to organise it. There's probably guys organised better, illegal car rallies in Hamilton on a Saturday night than the RSPBA. So,
come on, guys, pick it up.
To that end, right? Never mind the wee kind of silent night, holy night bollocks, right? I'm going with Krampus, right? No dear Santa. I'm going with Krampus because Krampus is a badass, right? Krampus dishes it back out. So, to my viewpoint, if it was me and I was writing a letter to Santa, I'd be writing a letter to St. Nicholas. Now, St. Nicholas had his wee opal called Krampus. You come on the 6th of December, you put your slippers out and see if your slippers have got wee kind of birch in it, birch twigs.
Little twigs.
That means he's coming to give you a healthy doing, stick you in a bag, and take you away forever. So, never mind asking Santa, Krampus is coming for these because he's failing the people. People don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, these people in this organisation, most people that are in pipe bands pretty much live for pipe bands, right? That's the main thing.
Yeah.
They're not a religion. The very few of them put their home life before the pipe band because that's why they're in a pipe band.
And that's why they podcast about
it. These guys are messing with people's love.
Yeah.
So, hey.
Yeah.
Better look at Krampus listening.
And instead of if you have instead of using the money to sue us, put it out there, put it back into the events. Just $5 a year. Put it in the event. Do something good with it. Get a pipe band contest with it. Sponsor Rudimental.
My goodness. I'm gonna have to take Mary this, man. It's for my cold. You know. Get on.
Here we go. I got the Coca-Cola Santa hat. Sponsored. Manly Ring Pipe Band.
I went for the elf guy. I'm the kind of elf on the shelf guy.
The elves don't get enough credit, man. They're the ones picking it, packing it, doing everything together there. All Santa's the courier driver.
I hope I'm one of Krampus's bad elf helpers, ready to snatch folk and put them in bags. Right.
Let that little twig in there.
Listen, I'll give you. See, it's got to be a German thing, innit? It has got to be. That's German tradition, right? German and Austria, right?
Just
where only you can
psychologically
torture. Psychologically torture your own children, telling them, listen, Krampus is coming. I've put a stick in your slipper. So it's going to get you absolutely petrified between now and Christmas Day. You know what I mean? Who would do that to kids, man?
That would play on your mind.
That's the thing.
Did it just blow in via wind?
Listen, your girlfriend's Swedish. Your girlfriend's Swedish. I wonder if they do the same thing.
Mate, they're worse.
They're dodgy.
They have Christmas the day before.
That's right, aye. I've done
that.
I've done a Norwegian Christmas once, right?
Oh.
I've done a Norwegian Christmas once, right? And what they do is they bury antler meat. They bury reindeer meat. Like the ribs of reindeer. And they keep that under the ground and then they dig it up and then eat that. Let me tell you one word. Rancid. Absolutely rancid.
You did that? You had that?
I ate that.
Oh, yep. You know what? First up, get on you for getting amongst it. You got in there and you ate that frozen rib meat.
Listen, as you go to eat it, you can smell how putrid it is.
Oh,
absolutely vile.
Are you sure it's not just an acquired taste?
Well, obviously for Norwegians, they think, yum, yum, and yum. Right, but I'm like, what? He's thinking about, man. Putting it in a hole, taking it back up. That's what you do with the dead. You bury the dead, right? No, dig it back up and we're going to scoff it. No way, man.
If you did that in Australia, the dingoes would be after you.
It's an illness, isn't it? Listen, I know it's wrong, but I tend to judge nations by things like that. You know,
by the traditions, yes.
You know what I mean? You go, use the people that do that. I don't know if you can come to my door.
I mean,
go to the next door down. Go.
I've learned something today. Right. Hey, that's
listen, just a big shout out there. Listen, ask your girlfriend. Like, the next thing is I know she's Swedish, but she'll know the kind of stuff that they get up to. And I'll tell you another thing. It might be the same thing. They might do the same thing. Ask her about the reindeer meat buried ribs.
I might have to check my backyard.
Nasty. She's like, oh, listen, Jason, I've got you a treat. You're like, no, thanks. Heard about this. Right.
What you got here?
Can we open my presents?
I think it's time. For all those drumheads who are listening at home,
let's do it, man.
This is for all of us. Right, so we've coordinated this and sent us over some bennies from our home countries in which we reside. I have done a marvelous job, by the way, of not looking at and not having not a single peek at what is in here.
No, never. Oh, yeah.
What is this?
I like this.
Clapping sticks.
That's
it. He's got the hang of it.
I actually feel I'm in a Kate Bush video. And dreaming or something. That's that.
Look, you're only playing eighth notes on that, yeah? No 16ths or anything fancy, all right?
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, check this out. What's this? 100 years of pipe band drumming.
I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. I can't get the book myself. I'm trying to get the same book.
What?
I'll go Wallabies. Is this? Listen, is that the runners-up prize for the rugby?
Mate, if you had given me that as a gift, I would have fucking punched you in the nuts. That was...
It's like, Jace, I take it these are going in the bargain basement pile now in Australia. It's like, They can't surf them. They're actually
thought-
they're sending them to third world countries for kids to wear, aren't they? They're like just shipping them out in containers. There's all these poor kids in third world countries wearing them. It's like
I thought it might be nice
wear.
for you to have a tier 2 rugby team pizza merch there, yeah?
Yeah, no, man. No, it's much appreciated. I'll wear it. I'll wear it. I was going to say,
here's a Benny. Is this counted as a Benny?
I knew you'd like it. Look, it's a Benny. You'd love it.
Oh, jeez. This is the best Christmas ever.
But listen, that is good.
Is there a third thing in here?
Listen, they'll have to get. That's the one of the presents that you can't buy that I got you.
Yes. Far out.
Do you know what I mean?
How am I going to...
Andrew
is a selfless fellow. For all the things he's said and done,
testicles.
he is... show the viewers what you got here.
It's a kangaroo testicle bottle opener.
Real. It was hard for me to get that, by the way, because I have to catch the kangaroo, cut his nuts off,
and then make a bottle opener on it.
Make a bottle, and I pay someone trying to do that. And we got some whiskey rocks for our production manager. He'll love that.
That's just for Adam.
He loves a bit of whiskey. Shout out to Adam McNally here. You're our production manager. Here we go.
They're quite good, aren't they?
You get a good sound out of those. Honestly, I don't know how authentic they are. I don't know if morally there was anything just about that. I can't hear you at all there, mate. But it looks like you're doing a great job on them.
Oh, you can't hear it, can you?
No, I can't hear. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah,
I reckon you're butchering
I'm enjoying playing them.
Hey, so tell us about this book here.
They've got the shelf of...
Tell us about this.
Right, so the book, right? Right, it's a guy predominantly done by a guy called Wilson Young, who lives in the village up from me, right? Very old man. I was trying to get a hold of him because I would actually liked it signed. So what he's done is he's compiled a lot of drumming of drummers that were prolific way back in the day, Muirhead and Sons and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a wee bit of history, and I thought, ideal. My plan is I can't get one at the minute, right? I'm trying to get one so we can look at it together and discuss it.
So there's now one of these floating around in Australia.
Yeah, there's one floating about in Australia, but the point is that the guy that done them put them. Do you know where I've actually got that? In the computer tech shop in Straven. Yeah, they also sell local books done by local writers. And that was it. And I was like, there was two, and I was thinking to myself, I bought one, and then when I bought it, I was going to buy it for me. I thought, no, ideal gift for Jason for his Christmas.
What a legend. So this is Wilson Young from Scotland and Alan Chatto from Australia. These are the original rudimental. This is the original rudimental collaboration.
Yeah.
Wow. How symbolic. So if listeners wanted to get their hands on this, they got to go down to this tech shop in Scraven.
Do you know, I don't know how they are. I know that the guy Wilson, he normally drinks in a pub that I know. And he's not been seen for a wee while, so I know he's not well. So, by the way, I don't think you will be listening to this, but Wilson, please get a bit well soon. Wilson Young actually tested me for my RSPBA elementary class 3 exam or something like that.
Was that recently or many years ago? When you were a wee lad, perhaps?
Yeah, I was like, when I say wee, I was about like 20-something, 19, 20.
Yeah, right. Well, that's an absolute stoker of a gift that you're giving me, mate. And that's a lot of scores I'm going to have to get through, hey? Do people play these? I'm amazed how many tunes there actually are in the
I've got a lot of scores I have to get through. Huh?
I'm amazed that there's actually there's a Reed Maxwell tune in here.
Exactly, eh?
Wow.
That's in his good old days when he wore that orange shirt.
Not like this old thing. Yeah, get that on. I want to see that on your head in the next Andy on the beat.
Oh yeah, you know I will do that. That's exactly what I'll do. Right, without much ado, I've got to look forward to in the new year. What we got? Jason?
Yeah, 2024.
Anything?
I mean, I've got to work through this book. I've just got to be absolutely on my best game I've ever been as I'm trying to be a drum sergeant. We'll see how that's going. What's really going to happen for me personally, pipe drumming wise, is we're going to head off to Basel, Switzerland, for the Basel Tattoo again, which you'll always hear me talking about. It's the only other one I've done, 2022 Basel Tattoo. And while I'm over there, I might head over to round your way in Glasgow and check out the World Pipe Band Championships.
Right, that's absolutely stunning, because I'm hoping to go to Oslo in April with the Edinburgh Military Tattoo Pipe Band. Also, I've got all the competitions coming up. If the RSPBA get another 3 jumped on at the back, so there's 5 majors and then all the rest of the wee ones.
Jeez.
And then you've got the Basel. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So apart from the competitions, apart from going to Oslo, meantime, and then we'll try and get a Bowran type in the new year. I'll go over and see if I can get somebody teaching me how to play the Bowran. That's what I'm doing. So
And,
apart from that,
I think
all there is to...
I think I think the drum heads, should get a bit of a say as well. If you got people out there in the pipe band world who've got a story they want to tell, and want us to just talk about it here on the show, send it through.
Yeah. Keep your opinions to yourself.
Keep your opinions in the comments and email us the good stuff.
We'll read it and then we'll talk about it offline and we'll go like, nah, no chance.
That's not true.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy think he is? He's not doing that.
If that happens, you'll be able to expose us for everything that we really are.
Okay. Well, obviously, says, Jason, happy Christmas.
Andy,
have a good New
heads
Year.
Alike.
Right. Everybody have a good Christmas. A happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.